Welcome back to the BetCanada channel. I am your host, Jeff Lloyd. We're going to talk a little bit about what we saw last night. Bears, Bills, prime time, and Caleb Williams in year two. I want to begin this with I think there was a lot of confusion, in my opinion, about Caleb Williams' rookie year. Caleb Williams completed over 62% of his passes. He threw for over 3,500 yards. He had a touchdown interception ratio of 20-6. He ran for almost 500 yards on the ground and was sacked almost 70 times. I don't think Caleb Williams was necessarily the issue with the Chicago Bears last year, as much as maybe the Chicago Bears were not ready to spend a number one overall pick on Caleb Williams. New system, new head coach Ben Johnson comes over from the Detroit Lions. And while Jared Goff excelled and went to a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, under Ben Johnson with the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff has hit sights and levels that we have never seen before. I think Ben Johnson, who was patient and certainly had his opportunities over two off seasons to get a head coaching job within the NFL, really saw the appeal with Caleb Williams, the athletic signal caller, with a varying degree of arm angles to be a fit as he became a head coach in the NFL for the first time. So many times with young quarterbacks, teams just think the quarterback himself is going to come in and fix the situation on his own. The Bears did not take this approach. The Chicago Bears invested heavily in what matters to quarterbacks. They signed one free agent offensive lineman. They traded for two others. They spent their first round pick on a tight end. They spent their second round pick on a wide receiver. This team has done some really, really good work to really get a true evaluation on where Caleb Williams will be and how successful he can be in year two playing under Ben Johnson in the NFC North. What you saw last night in the Bears Bills game, and we'll preface this with saying the Bills didn't have any of their starters on the field on offense or on defense. First opportunity for Caleb Williams was a 97-yard drive. And I think what the Bears and Ben Johnson are trying to do, and tight end usage was a huge, huge part of the success of the Detroit Lions over the last few seasons. Initially, I think what the Bears are trying to do with Caleb Williams is trying to attack between the hash marks with their tight ends, Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, and also using Caleb Williams on rollout opportunities to keep those guys involved as well. But by challenging the middle of the field, it should open things up and make life easier for Caleb Williams with the receivers he has on the outside. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, rookie Luther Burden. This is nice, a nice group of skill set guys to have for Caleb Williams as he tries to make the next step here within his own development and trying to prove to everybody that he was worthy of a number overall one selection. Once Williams got going between the hash marks, he was then able to start using his wide receivers, DJ Moore on the outside, Luther Burden certainly on the outside, having wide receivers lined up wide, running skinny post routes. Certainly found a way with Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland, not lined up just as tight ends, also lined up as basically a flex slot, even lined up as wide receivers as well. Caleb Williams, and we saw this at Oklahoma, and we certainly saw the best of Caleb Williams at USC at times as well. Every quarterback is not going to be the guy that can just carry the team. You're kind of only as good as the personnel you have around you. And I think for where Ben Johnson is with this team with the Bears, they have done a really, really nice job in trying to make sure that Caleb Williams hits his ceiling. And a lot of this, of course, is going to have to come on Caleb Williams, but it's also going to have to come down to the offensive line. For what Williams did last year, for almost being sacked 70 times and only throwing six interceptions, some of the sacks, of course, are on Williams. You have to be more disciplined. You have to be a little bit more understanding of the fact you're just not going to be able to run around in the pocket and create passing lanes like you did in college. Some of it, you just have to be smarter about what you are doing. We appreciate you all for tuning in here at Bet Canada. We're going to have the videos pick up, of course, this time of year if we're closer to regular season action. Williams in year 2 now, and what we saw in just a little bit last night, overall, I think was 6 to 10, over 100 yards. So the completion percentage only 60, but let's not gripe on only 10 passes. There was a screen pass that, in my opinion, Caleb Williams saw that it wasn't going anywhere, so he threw it in the dirt. So that right there shows growth for Caleb Williams. Understanding something is not there. Don't take a sack, incompletion, live to fight another day. This Bears team should give us a pretty good indication early in the season about where Ben Johnson has this offense and also where Caleb Williams is in his development. They open at home against the Minnesota Vikings, which should certainly be an interesting matchup with Caleb Williams against a former first round pick of his own draft in JJ McCarthy. Week 2, Ben Johnson travels back to Detroit to face his old team, the Lions. Week 3, they are home for the Cowboys. Week 4, they are on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, and they actually have a week 5 bye. This could work out pretty well because if the Bears could find a way to just split between the Vikings and the Lions, in my opinion, there's probably a pretty good chance that this Bears team could find their way to a 3-1 start as they head into that week 5 bye. And with Caleb Williams and many young quarterbacks, it is a confidence thing. Once it gets going, once you see the work, the system, you suiting the system suiting you, all of a sudden, the pressure is off. And once the pressure is off and you get young quarterbacks to be able to play freely, that's usually where you see the jump, the takeoff within the game. It's not going to be essentially easy this year for the Chicago Bears. In addition to playing the NFC North, where they were the last place team last year. And for in order to make any headway this year, they're really going to have to play well within the NFC North. The issue, though, for the Bears is also on the schedule this year is the entirety of the AFC North and also the entirety of the NFC East. So this team is going to be battle tested pretty much throughout the entire regular season. But Ben Johnson, who has certainly proven what his capabilities are as an offense coordinator and what he was able to do with the Detroit Lions. You have Caleb Williams, you have the reinforcements at the offensive line. I do like DeAndre Swift in the backfield. I don't think DeAndre Swift is probably the correct back to have as a lead back for the Bears. Kyle Monangai from Rutgers was drafted late on day 3. Really good as a pass receiver and just a pretty good overall physical back. We know what football's like in the NFC North. Weather comes a lot earlier in the NFC North than it does in some of the other cities. So Monangai, in my opinion, is probably going to be better suited for this team as far as maybe being their lead back. Rashawn Johnson is also in that room out of Texas, and I think he can excel as well. And it's going to be interesting because you have to remember with a new offensive staff, things kind of change for everybody now. So wherever your standing was in 2024 within the Chicago Bears offense, you have a chance to certainly improve upon that in 2025. Ben Johnson is no stranger to just kind of doing his own thing, dancing to his own music. He's a guy that is not afraid to try anything. He is a guy that loves to challenge the field vertically. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, this should be great opportunities for them. They can go with a no running back personnel on third down of Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, Roma Dunzier, and Luther Burden. Challenge with some vertical routes, and you should have plenty of things open underneath for the tight ends. For a guy who's quicker than a hiccup like Luther Burden. The Chicago Bears, in my opinion, are getting close. They're probably 1 year away from playoff contention, but I don't know necessarily that the gap is that far away as people might think it is from the Green Bay Packers. or for the Minnesota Vikings. Let's be honest. The Bears at least know what they have in Caleb Williams. The Minnesota Vikings do not necessarily know what they have yet in JJ McCarthy. And NFC North should be fun this year. And one of the biggest reasons it is going to be fun is because of Ben Johnson coaching the Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams as his quarterback. I am Jeff Lloyd. This is the Bet Canada Challenge. I know YouTube thinks you'll love this video. We think you'll love it as well. So make sure you give it a like, you subscribe to the channel, leave us some comments, and just to let you all know, the action and traction here at the Bet Canada Challenge is about to pick up.